Hey, third grade, we're going to do our red word lesson today since we didn't have school on Tuesday. What you're going to be doing is getting out your red word folder and having that ready. You're going to find that fresh new page, and we are going to get our screens ready, put that underneath of it, and have that ready to go. You also need a pencil for your red word sentences, and you also need a crayon for your red words. We are going to get started with our first word. I want you to think about this word. Often. I go on long walks with my dogs often. It's my bell. Often. N. Often. Let's talk about often. Aw, that's nothing abnormal there. N. Often. There's a T here. That's kind of silent. I'll put a red mark there. That's why it's irregular. And then we have N. Often. Sometimes people do pronounce that T, but the original way to say this word, and the correct way to say this word, is often. Often. So you don't hear that T pronounced, and that's why it's irregular. Let's write it in our books. Go ahead, your screen should be ready, and write it nice and big. O-F-T-E-N. Often. Oh, I wrote a T, it's supposed to be a 1. Go ahead and tap it out. O-F-T-E-N, often. O-F-T-E-N, often. O-F-T-E-N, often. Often. O-F-T-E-N, often. Trace this. I want you to pause this video, and at this time you're going to trace with your fingers 3 times, often, and saying it at the end. O-F-T-E-N, often. You're going to do it 3 times on top. Then you're going to do it 3 times with your screen on top. Go ahead and pause this video and complete that task. Welcome back. You're all now ready to write the word on the back of the paper. So, see, front, turn to the back. You see that number 1? You're going to write often. I'm going to give you a second to write often by yourself. It's a chance to know if you got it right, to see if you memorized it, if you tapped it out like you were supposed to, and if you traced it like you were supposed to. You should have spelled that word 9 times out loud. So now, when we write it on the back, it's a way to test our knowledge. All right, now let's see if you got it correct. If your word looks like mine, write it 2 more times. Often, often. Now it's time to write a sentence. I wrote my words using the pencil just because I like the way how neat it is. Often we write it with crayons and it's kind of messy, so I like to write it in pencil. Go ahead and make your sentence for often. Think about a sentence. I often walk my dogs in the afternoon. I play video games often. I read books often. What sentence would you like to write? Now, I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to get my screen ready for my next word. Let's talk about word number 2. Word number 2 is parent. 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 When you grow up, do you want to be a parent? All right. Parent takes care of their children. How many sounds do you hear? Air, unt, air, parent. Why is this irregular? Let's see. That sounds like an E, but it's an A. It's regular. This is an R. And that breaks a rule because AR, when they're typically together, they say the R sound. P. We don't say per, R. We don't say parent. We say parent. So that breaks a rule here. AR. And then we hear but that is actually an E. And then nt is not irregular. That is the same. So we have parent, parent. Let's go ahead and write this in R. Redword Journal, P-A-R-E-N-T. Write it number 2. Chunk it out. P-A-R-E-N-T. 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 Tap that out. You're going to tap it. You're going to trace it 3 times each. Tap it 3 times. Say it. Trace it 3 times. Say it. Screen on top. Trace it 3 times. Say it. Pause this video to complete that task. All right, welcome back. You should have practiced your word. Now it's time to test your knowledge. Write the word on number 1. And don't cheat. Don't cheat yourself. This is for you. This is for you. You want to know how to spell parent. Let's check your spelling. It should be P-A-R-E-N-T. Parent. If it looks like mine, go ahead and write it 2 more times. Then you need to write a sentence. Generate a sentence. A good parent cooks dinner. It's my sample sentence. Parent is someone who takes care of children. Takes care of their children. All right, we're going to move on to our last word. And our last word is always. 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 Let's talk about this. All. That's irregular. Sounds like an O. And it doesn't meet that the other all patterns. Sometimes have W. It's correct. A. That's correct. And Z. That sounds like a Z, but it's an Y-S. Always. These two. This one is irregular. All right, let's go ahead and write the always in our book. I always brush my teeth before bed. It's a great sentence to use. Oh, forgot my screen. It's a little different without it. Always. Always. A-L-W-A-Y-S. A-L-W-A-Y-S. Always. All right, are you ready? Tap it out with your arm 3 times, saying it each time you tap it. A-L-W-A-Y-S. Always. Do that 3 times. You're going to trace it 3 times here and say it. You're going to trace it 3 times here and say it. And then you come back. We're going to see if you can write it. Pause this video so you can do all those steps. Tap it, trace it, and then your screen trace it. Okay, let's see if you can spell it. Check your answer. If it looks like mine, write it 2 more times. Always. Always. Now make a sentence. Go ahead and make a sentence. And check your cups. And then number, let's see, always. I will always love my 3rd grade class. Always remember that. Now that we are done with our red words, I would like to do some dictations. Some of you, I sent home this sheet on Monday. If you have this sheet, you should pause this video and get it out. If you don't have this sheet, what you need to do is use a normal piece of paper. Go ahead and draw a line down the middle. So if you had a normal piece of paper, what you would do is draw a line down the middle. And you would write words on this side. And you would write rewrite on this side. And then I would actually stopped right about here and made like an upside down T. And this is where you're going to put your sentences. And go ahead and let's get started. Go ahead and make that. Pause the video if you have to. So you're basically trying to make it look like mine over here if you don't have a copy of this. Make an upside down T, write words, rewrite, and sentences. All right, let's get started. The first word we're going to do is rung. 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 R-U-N-G. Rung. Write it. You should hear ung. You should hear 2. Ung. Rewrite it. Rung. I rung the bell. Rung. Let's do another one. Go ahead and make 2 lines. Do a blend here, and then a line here. The word is strung. I strung the strings on my guitar. Strung, strung, str, g. Strung, strung. Write it. Did you get strung? Rewrite it. If you did, we're going to do 3 more. Let's do thank. Thank you for my birthday card. Thank you for the birthday card you sent me. Thank. 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 Go ahead and rewrite it. Our next word is going to be do a blend here. Twang. 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 My little brother talks with a twang. Twang. Tw. Tw. Ng. Twang. Tw. Ang. Twang. One more word. Let's do prong. Prong. You have a prong in your red word folder. Prongs in here. This is a prong. 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 We're going to do a sentence now. In your sentence, you have a red word here. These are your word lines. These are not sound lines. Remember that? Here is your sentence. He will bring the crank to the rink. Do it with me. He will bring the crank to the rink. Tap it here. He will bring the crank to the rink. Write it. He will bring the crank to the rink. Pause this video and write it yourself. Don't wait for me. This is a test for you. Practice for you. He will bring the crank to the rink. If your sentence looks like mine, go ahead and rewrite it without the lines, watching your spacing, watching your cups. And we are finished. Practice your words.